Cool. Hi, everybody. It's Catherine Creswell here from the Wedding Wellness Podcast. And I have with me the rather fabulous Chris Rivera today from Proctor Gallagher Institutes. And he is just an amazing coach, helping you to bridge that gap between what you know you should do and what you actually are doing to just create the best day ever. So, Chris, over to you.
Thank you, Catherine. Such a pleasure to be here. I feel honored. I'm the first male on your
Yeah.
Well, it's so much fun working with people who know they want to improve. They've gone through the health and wellness, or they've read the books, they've watched the YouTube videos, and they want to get better, but they're not quite seeing the results. And so it's just a matter of taking that information you already have and start applying it. And I think so many people, they think they have to keep gathering more information. That's not always the case. So maybe we just need to take what we already know and learn how to apply it. And I think that definitely applies in the wedding space that you're in.
That's
right?
it. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's really important that couples don't get overwhelmed with the to-do list and the physical things they have to do. It's like they've got to look after themselves as well. It's really important.
Absolutely. And especially in the wedding, when you have all these guests, all your family members, all your friends, they're coming, they're putting all that focus and attention on you. It's so easy to get caught up in, oh my goodness, what if this happens, and what if you play all these what if games. And your role as the wedding wellness planner is to see the best version of themselves. And that's what I love about what you do, because when all the tension's on you, naturally we think about all the insecurities or all those bad habits that we could hide before. But now everyone's watching. So what if they see? And Catherine, you have to see the best version of people and let them borrow your belief in them to get them through that special day, right?
That's it. And I just want them to believe in themselves and know how beautiful they are. It's their wedding day. They're getting married to the person they love and who loves them the most. So you've just got to be feeling that love, and you'll be glowing anyway.
You're right. It's getting into that feeling. And once you're in that feeling, it's such a joyful experience, because people feel that, they sense that in you. And people are drawn to that joyful feeling. People see the confidence you have in yourself, and they just gravitate towards that. And when you can experience that on your wedding day, I know when we had ours, my wife and I, Claudia, it was just the greatest feeling that people wanted to be there
and sharing the happiness, sharing the joy. And it's it does take work. Confident people they're not born, we're not born any particular way. Any state you want to be in, you have to work on that. And
right, you're right. It's very interesting that you say that, because I think people assume that by reading the books and going to the seminars, that is the work. And that's not necessarily the case. Reading all the information in the books, that's the equivalent of buying a bike for your kids, or a bookshelf that you have to take home and construct, and then reading the instruction manual 100 times and expecting it to build itself.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. Exactly. You read the instructions, you do some of the work, you may go back to the instructions, and then you go do a little work, but you have to do that work on yourself. Yeah. Whether that's auto-suggestion or affirmations, or writing out that best version of you, writing the story of you, and then going back and reading it and falling in love with that vision. That's the work. And most people are forgetting that part.
That's it. Just, want everyone just to fall in love with themselves. And the more you love yourself, the more you have to give to everyone else as well.
Right. Right. Like, how could, for example, if someone asked me to borrow them $5, Well, to give them $5, I first have to have $5. So if I want to love somebody, I first have to have love for myself. How can you love someone if you don't first love yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I love this. I love this. It's so true. It's so true. And just like you say, writing down those things that you love about yourself, standing in front of the mirror. Some people are scared to look in the mirror, but you know, you need to find those things and talk to yourself like you would to your best friend or your fiance, you know. You've got to see those things that
Right.
that are there.
Right. Why is it then when we talk with a best friend who is not feeling all that great, why do they come to us? Why do they ask us to talk with them? And that's because we see the best version of themselves. And I often tell people, I only see the best version of you. I don't care about your past results. They mean nothing to me. I don't care if you maybe screwed up in the past. I don't care. You're my friend, and I only see the best version of you.
Yeah.
And once you learn to forget about the results and disassociate with them, then you're able to move on. It's not to say we forget what happened, learn the lesson, but move on. But you don't have to live in that situation, right?
Cut those cords. Yeah, don't drag it around. Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think as I've learned more and more these last few years, that's the thing that really resonates with me is like the past it's there, it's gone. Like, yeah, it might still creep up on you and it might come up in your mind, but you can't change it, but you can change what you're doing going forward. And that's the most important thing.
Can I tell you something really interesting? So when I was younger, I was playing baseball and I had this really embarrassing thing happen to me. So I was up to bat and I tried to bunt the ball and I bunted the ball and it hit me in the mouth and it knocked out my 2 teeth. Now I was so embarrassed by that and I held on to that image and memory for years, for a long time, until one day I realized, you know what? Why am I holding on to it? All the people who were involved in that situation are long gone from my life. I don't keep in contact with any of them. And at this moment right now, they're not even thinking about it. So why am I thinking about it? Why am I giving energy to it when there's no one in my life right now who's even reminding me about that situation? I'm the only one doing it.
Yeah, that's it.
Why do we stay in it?
Yeah, like you say, it's like the thought police. You spend all this time thinking about what other people are thinking about you. Chances are they're thinking about what they're having for tea or whatever else is going on in their life.
Exactly.
It's a much nicer place if you're just in your own head and in your own space and looking after yourself. Yeah.
And that sometimes happens with wedding guests too. If you're the bride and groom, you're there and you think everyone's watching you, but halfway through the wedding, people have maybe they know you're there, but they've kind of forgotten about you. They're at their table, they're eating dinner, they're having conversations. So you don't have to worry as much. Just enjoy your special day, right?
Definitely, definitely. And a lot of couples spend so much time in the build up worrying about what everybody else wants or thinks or what the expectations are. And it is, you know, there's a lot to manage, and obviously you want everyone to enjoy themselves. But the main thing is they should be wanting you to enjoy yourself because it's your day. And people that don't go with it, you know, they'll get wrapped up once the day's begun and see how much effort and how much it means to you. Then you go with that. You go with it.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. When you realize that people are there to be there for you, they want to see you be happy. So if a bride and groom were to maybe change their perception and say, you know, instead of trying to force themselves to enjoy it, maybe see it as, you know what, I have a responsibility to my friends and my guests to be happy because that's what they came here to see.
Yeah.
So let me just be happy. That the way I honor my friends and my family and the priest or the minister, the way I honor them is by being happy and letting myself be happy instead of focusing on all the negative stuff. Why don't I just be happy? And that's how I thank my guests and my family members.
That's it. Yes. And listing gratitude is a great way to get that into that positive mindset. And the more positive things that you note down, the more you'll start to notice. And it's like that virtuous circle, isn't it? And it just keeps getting better and better.
Yes. Yeah. To your point, that's what I teach people. I talk to people about gratitude often. How can you receive good things in your life if you're focused on the negatives? How can you see the positive in a negative situation if you're always focused on negative? I mean, take, for example, what's happened over the last year. There is no way you and I would be having this conversation.
I know.
If it weren't for what happened, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible that we have this technology available to us. And I mean, we only actually connected like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
But the opportunities, that's the thing, you've got to grab these opportunities and make the most of them. And there's these connections that you can make. And that's the thing. I was chatting with another wedding planner yesterday, and some couples get really caught up in, they've booked all these things and they're over budget and they're really stressing about it. And it's like, actually just take a step back. Things can happen. We can sort things out. There's always room for change, and there's always new opportunities to help. And I think within 4 or 5 phone calls, they were back on budget. We just made a few tweaks here and there, and ticked another thing off the list. So,
haven't you noticed that in the end, you always figure it out?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like no matter what happens, we're gonna figure it out. We always do.
That's it.
It's gonna happen. Just trust the process. We've been doing this for a while. It's gonna work out. It's okay.
Yeah, trust is a massive, massive part of it, isn't it? Just taking a deep breath, just knowing that as long as you're calm and relaxed, then that will radiate out and that will come back to you. I have followed quite a few people that are into sort of the more spiritual side, the energy side. And I totally believe what you put out, you're going to get back. So the more positive you can be, the more chilled out you can be. They say what your vibe attracts your tribe.
It's true. It's 100% true. And trust me, I'm one of those people who I could go into the science behind that, the quantum mechanics, but let's not go there.
Podcast on that.
That's a different podcast. but it's so true. So if the people you're working with, if they can just understand for that one day, put out a positive attitude, and it'll work out.
That's it.
It always does.
And that's what I'm going to be bringing into my 12-week course on wedding wellness. There's going to be a lot of elements of manifesting and creating abundance for yourself. So it's more than, everyone focuses on just that one day, but if you put this work in to yourself before then, it just sets you up for life. And I think it's so important.
I love that you're using that special day as a launching pad to create the right attitude, and that's a perfect way to begin a new relationship, a new life with that significant other, isn't it?
That's it. And is it right in the US, a lot of priests and ministers insist on couples counseling before they get married?
In some cases they do. It depends. Many people here in the United States have, just for financial reasons, they maybe avoid the religious side, or they go straight to the through the legal. They had the judge do the wedding. Yeah. But it also depends on the culture, just because the United States is multicultural. So in some cases Hispanics might do it, whereas Caucasian communities, it's different. It's whatever works for the client.
Yeah.
For the couple,
that's
right?
it. That's it. I just wish this stuff was taught in schools. So I think as kids are so much more absorbent to this kind of information, and it's just so important. We're taught maths, and these skills, they're important, but there's nothing more important than being happy with who you are.
Right. It's And that's why it's important for new couples to become aware of this information. And it's great that they can learn about it through the process of being a wedding, or going the process of a wedding, because this is stuff I've applied this to my daughters. And a big thing about what we teach is change when you change the way you see something, the thing itself changes. So often we talk to people and say, you need to change the way you see yourself. And if you change that, you will change. The actions that you take will be different.
Yeah.
But we also applied it to our daughters, who are 8 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
They were born they were labeled on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
And the doctors immediately said, oh, they'll be on medications for the rest of their life, and they won't live, they'll have less learning disabilities for the rest of their time in school. And we didn't want to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
So we avoided the Western medicine route, and we chose a more holistic approach, changing their diet, going to a holistic osteopath. But the biggest thing we did was changing the way we saw them. Yeah. We changed our perception of them. No longer saw them as sick and disabled. We saw them as healthy and fully able. Yes. And they changed. It was miraculous. We couldn't believe what was happening right before our eyes.
Amazing.
So our perception of our daughters influenced our daughters. However, it first took a change in our perception for them to change. Mm-hmm. So it's important that couples, especially new couples, learn this and get these foundational principles in their own relationships. So when they have children, they realize, well, I can send my son or daughter to school, but it's still upon me to teach them how to be happy, mm-hmm. and how to manifest, and how to have that attitude of gratitude in life, right?
That's it. Oh gosh, that fills my heart. The labels that people put on, you're sick, you're this, you're that. It's like, I'm here, I'm living, I'm gonna thrive. Yes. And that's it. Every little cell takes on that message. Mm-hmm. Even one of my favorite pictures, I can't remember who did the study, but it was they magnified water, and the structures created by this water, some bottles had like really awful words written on them, and people would shout at the bottles, and the construction was horrible all over the place. And then they've got other bottles that have really gorgeous love messages on them, and they're talked to kindly. And the formation was like snowflakes and just really beautiful crystals. And, that's what we're putting into our bodies as well. Mm-hmm. You think, even something like water, you would not necessarily think that's going to affect you in that way, but it's, you want to be putting beautiful things in.
Yes. And I know about that. I can't think of the scientist's name. I believe he may have been from Japan, but mm-hmm. He's a scientist who did studies, and he found that when you said negative words to water, he would speak negative words to water, freeze it, and he'll analyze the molecular structure of the water.
That's it.
And he did the same thing, but for water that he's sent beautiful, loving words to, beautiful, loving energy to, froze it and watched it. And the molecular structure was so much more positive.
Yeah.
So how powerful is it when we speak to our significant other or our children, mm-hmm. or even about the situation, or the wedding day, the planning.
Yes.
Talking about the negative, you are literally sending out negative energy to create that negative situation that you don't want.
Yeah, yes, that's it. And we're 70% water as well, so it's a huge impact. And like you say, creating what you want, that positive imagery, that positive language, mm-hmm. Your brain automatically wants to make what you tell it happen. So tell it good things.
That's so powerful. And when I think people are becoming aware more of the difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and often people, when they think of their mind, they think it's their brain, and our brain is not. Our brain is not our mind any more than our fingernail is. Our brain is what connects with the mind. So yes. It's that part of our body that connects with it. But the subconscious mind literally exists in every cell in our body. So when you're able to change the way you see yourself, you are in essence changing your subconscious mind, which is changing the molecular structure of your body. This is how people are able to literally heal themselves through the positive thinking. Why is it Western medicine hasn't caught on to this? Who knows? That's a longer
Yeah,
conversation.
that's for another day.
But we can literally heal ourselves through the power of positive thought, positive words, taking the right action.
Yeah,
It's so powerful, the thoughts and beliefs we have, and I'm glad that you're doing that for your clients and for wedding couples.
yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to help more and more people just find out more about this, because it is just a whole new world, and it is so powerful and so interesting. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait.
It's a beautiful thing to be able to help people on their special day, and really be of service to people. And don't you find that the more of service we are to others, the more it just comes back to us?
That's it. Yeah. Well, I say, the more you give, the more room you have to receive. So the more good you're given, the more space you've got for more good to come in.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's actually something that my teacher, Bob Proctor, told me, and actually another spiritual teacher says that's the beauty of tithing. When you tithe money or you donate money, you're giving that energy. You're allowing more money to come in. It's like you're circulating it.
Yeah.
And when we hoard on, we have that scarcity mindset, like, oh my goodness, what if I don't have it? Well, when you really start to understand what money is and the energy behind it, you realize it's energy. Energy only works when it's in circulation. So when you donate or you tithe, just like you send out good information or good energy, it comes back to you. And that's why many of the most successful people in this world are the ones who donate the most. Yes. And they send out the best energies and the best vibes because they keep getting more of it.
That's it. Yes, more please. Love it. Thank you so much. I could talk for hours with you. We will definitely book in another slot soon. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in. And yeah, we'll leave links for any programs that you're doing as well.
Yes, you'll find me on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I put a lot of value add content out there just to get people thinking about what they really want and how to, create those habits permanently, not the temporary habits, but create permanent habits that create permanent results in our life.
Yes, for a happily ever after.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chris, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you, Catherine.